So you want to learn how to use your camera. I mean, really use it. If you've ever felt trapped by that little green auto setting, wondering why your photos don't look like the ones you see online, then you are in the right place. Let's dive in and get you taking some absolutely killer photos.
You know the feeling, right? You get this brand new, amazing camera, you feel all that power in your hands, you start taking pictures, and they just look, well, okay. It's such a common and honestly, a super frustrating feeling. But I promise you, the fix is way, way simpler than you think.
And nope, the secret is not buried somewhere on page 247 of that giant, intimidating manual that came in the box. Seriously, who reads those things? As photographer Sudhir Shriram says, you don't need to read a whole novel just to become a better photographer.
The real secret is just getting a handle on 3 core settings that all work together. And to make it super easy to remember, we're going to use this brilliant little analogy from photographer Peter McKinnon. If you can make a bowl of cereal, you can do this.
All right, let's get right into it. This is probably the single most important concept you need to know to get off that auto mode for good. It might sound a little technical at first, but trust me, this serial thing is going to make it all click. It's called the exposure triangle, and it's just a fancy name for the relationship between 3 things: shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. These are the 3 pillars of every single photo you take. The trick is, they're always in a balancing act. If you change one, you got to adjust the others to keep your photo looking just right.
Exactly. You got to stop thinking of them as separate buttons and start seeing them as a team. As the quote says, you need all 3 of them working together in perfect harmony to get the shot you're picturing in your head. So back to that bowl of cereal. How does this all fit together? Okay, so first up, you've got the cereal itself. This is your foundation, right? The main substance of your breakfast. You could just eat it dry, I guess, but it's not the complete picture. In photography, this is your shutter speed. Next, you pour in the milk. Now, the milk completely changes the whole vibe of the cereal, doesn't it? It works with the cereal to make the whole thing better. This is your aperture.
And what about the spoon? Well, you can't really eat your cereal and milk without it, can you? It's the tool that brings it all together so you can actually enjoy it. That's your ISO. So now that we've got our ingredients, let's look at what they actually do to your photos.
Okay, so we've got our cereal, our milk, and our spoon. Now for the fun part. Let's break down what each of these ingredients actually does to change the look, the feel, and the whole story of your photo, beyond just making it brighter or darker. First up, shutter speed. This one is all about time. It's how long your camera's sensor is actually seeing the world. We measure it in seconds, or usually tiny fractions of a second. And this setting is your key to controlling motion. And this shows you exactly what I mean. Look at this. On the left, a super fast shutter speed, and it freezes every single drop of water in midair. It's sharp, it's crisp, perfect for action shots. But on the right, we use a slow shutter speed, and that same water blurs into this beautiful, silky, dreamlike flow. It's the same waterfall, but these are 2 totally different photos telling 2 completely different stories. That's creative control.
Next up, aperture. You'll also hear this called f-stop. The easiest way to think about it is like the pupil of your eye. It can get really wide to let in a lot of light, or it can get really tiny to let in just a little. But its most powerful creative trick is controlling something called depth of field.
And this is where the magic happens. A low f number, like f/1.8, gives you that gorgeous, professional-looking portrait where the person is sharp and the background just melts away into a beautiful blur. But then you use a high f number, like f/11, for a big landscape shot, and everything is in focus, from the rocks at your feet to the mountains way in the back. You get to decide what's important.
And finally, our spoon, ISO. This is your secret weapon when you're shooting in the dark. It isn't a physical thing like the other 2. Nope, this is you digitally cranking up the sensitivity of your camera's sensor. The fake light analogy is perfect. You're basically telling your camera, hey, I need more light, just make some up.
But there's a catch with this fake light. There's always a trade-off. At a low ISO, when there's plenty of sunshine, your picture's super clean, crisp, beautiful. But as you raise that ISO to shoot in darker places, the camera starts to create digital noise, which looks kind of like grain. So while I can save your shot in low light, the golden rule is to always try and use the lowest ISO you can get away with for the best quality.
Okay, so you're getting the hang of the settings, right? But what about the camera itself, the hardware? Before we get to your first assignment, let's really quickly tackle one of the biggest questions people have when they're starting out. What's the deal with DSLR versus mirrorless cameras?
Honestly, it really just comes down to one big thing: the mirror. A
A DSLR has a physical mirror inside that bounces the light up into the viewfinder so you can see what the lens sees. A mirrorless camera, well, it gets rid of the mirror entirely. The light goes straight to the sensor and you see a little digital screen. And because they remove that whole clunky mirror mechanism, mirrorless cameras can be a lot smaller and lighter.
Whew! Okay, we've gone through a lot of theory. But theory is pretty useless if you don't actually put it into practice. So it's time. Time to pick up your camera and make all these ideas feel real.
Seriously, you are going to learn more in the next 10 minutes of just doing this than you did in the last 10 minutes of watching me talk about it. The goal here is to build muscle memory, so you're not even thinking about it anymore. You just feel it. So here it is, your very first assignment. Go find something simple that doesn't move, like a coffee mug or a plant. Now for the first round, just change the shutter speed. Go from fast to slow and just watch what happens. See how the brightness changes? Good. Now repeat the whole thing, but this time only change the aperture. Watch how that background blur appears and disappears. And finally, do it one more time just for ISO. The whole point is to isolate each setting so you can truly understand its unique superpower. And just like that, you have the fundamental building blocks of all photography. You're not just someone who pushes a button anymore. You're a storyteller. You have the tools to freeze time, to blur motion into a dream, to make your subject pop, or capture an entire epic scene. So, what are you waiting for? Go out there and start telling some stories. Thanks for hanging out with me.